Hello, my name is HAPruitt, and I'm the author of Anathalion and the second book in the Anathalion series, Earthquakey. And this video is a book review, so I'm going to review a book, not one of my books, a book I have read. And it's so important to review books. Please review books. If you read a book, review a book. It's so helpful to authors, especially independent authors, and that's what I really like to review in my book review videos, is independent authors and their books. So in this book review, I'm going to review Child of the Dragon Prophecy by Effie Joe Stock. So Child of the Dragon Prophecy is a fantasy Christian book. It's an epic fantasy. It takes place in its own world. And the synopsis, let me see, the synopsis is on the inside flap because I got the special edition hardcover with the painted spine. It's just really pretty. The savior child of the dragon prophecy is born. Raised by centaurs, then forsaken by humans, Stephania longs for a place to belong, but home keeps slipping away as fragmented memories. Those disturbing memories relentlessly haunt her, and the hometown where she has never felt welcome stands against her. When Stephania seeks an escape, she unwittingly begins a journey of self-discovery, and her long-thought memories, shape-shifting demons, a liar surrounded by dangerous magic, and newfound lies emerge as threats that may break her or finally lead her to her true home. Will Stephania be able to put aside her hate and pain to accept who she truly is, or will she let it drag her and all of Dovarharia to its doom? So the main character is Stephania, and you see part of the book is when she's a child and is being raised, and then the other part of the book is when she's coming of age and she's finding she's this child of the dragon prophecy. So that is all I'll give you about the book, and I'm going to tell you what my synopsis of the book, my review of the book. So I told you I have a lot of trouble saying Stephania. So Stephania is the main character, and the main themes are home and memories. As I said, where she's raised is not by her own parents, it's by centaurs, and you see her growing up when she's younger, and then growing up with someone else who's not quite her family and she doesn't know it, but she kind of feels she's not really at home in this place. And so the big themes are home and finding a place to belong, and then memories. You see her not being able to quite recall what exactly happened to her to put her in the situations that she is. She longs for a home and to remember her past, but trying to obtain both only give her more nightmares. She feels like she doesn't belong anywhere and keeps losing what she does have and doesn't understand why. So the big positives of this book, the author, Effie Joe Stock, is really skilled in a couple main areas. The emotion in this book is so intense, it's so strong. You feel what the characters feel. You feel what's going on. You get wrapped up in the emotion of everything going on. It's so inevitable to fall and get so wrapped up in what the characters are going through. You're gonna feel what these characters feel, and it's a lot of emotional stuff going on in here. And the world also, Effie is really skilled in building her world. She talks about in a couple of her videos how she loves world building, and you can really tell it. The world of Rasa is vast, it's detailed, and it's so well thought through that it feels like it's real. And it has been around since the beginning of time. Like, it's older than our world. It's a world out there. And it feels so real because she's put so much effort and time and thought and detail into this world of Rasa. And also, the book, I kind of said this already, but the book draws you in and keeps you in the deeply emotional story. And the story, the plot, and the characters are all believable and all intriguing, especially Artegal. This is Artegal. He's a white centaur, maybe. And his whole story is really intriguing. Like, you see a little bit of it, but you don't see all of it, and you're just really interested, and he's like this really stoic figure, and he doesn't want to be emotional, and he doesn't want to let it out, but so much is going on, and so he's really intriguing. And Trojan, this is my Trojan side. He's a centaur. He's Stephania's adopted brother, and he's just fun and happy, and Trojan is my favorite character because he's just a good older brother. When you see him, he's little, so he's a good little older brother. So you get wrapped up in the characters. And also, Effie is really good at foreshadowing. telling you what's coming without telling you, and so when you get to what's coming, you're like, oh, I knew what was coming because that was in the last chapter, but I didn't know it was coming. It's really well done. So my negatives are kind of negatives and kind of not negatives. I just don't know what else to call them. So these are my not positive parts of the book. I like the second half of the book better than the first half of the book. The first part's good, but it is not until Stephania is older that the really amazing impact of the emotion grips you. So if you're kind of reading it and you're like, I'm not sure about the first part, keep reading because the second part will really get you. Another not so positive thing is the emotion. The emotion is so good that you don't want to read this when you're not feeling good. It's mostly negative emotions, which isn't a bad thing because we need to read to help us in our own lives. But like I said, if you're not feeling good, if you're feeling kind of depressed, don't read this book because you're going to get more depressed. It made me feel, the first time I read through it, the emotion didn't get me so much, but the second time I read through it, kind of a more difficult time in my life. And so I had to stop reading it a couple times because I just get angry while reading it. I just feel so angry and mad and depressed all at once. And so I'd have to put it down and read something else for a while. So if you're not feeling good, save it for a different time when you are feeling better. Also, Stephania, the main character, I got this special edition hardback, so I have her picture. I bought this from Effie. She drew this. Effie, the author, drew this. This is Stephania, and I don't like Stephania, and I don't mean that as I don't like the character. She was a good character. She was believable. She was really realistic as a young lady trying to find herself in this. It's like she was from this world. She's kind of entitled and kind of like she's just angry and mad all the time. And so as a character, she's a very good character. Very purposeful and all that, but like if she was a person in my life, I would avoid her at all costs because I just like her personality is just kind of not okay. It's just not fun to be around. And so that kind of made it a little bit more difficult to endure Stephiania because she was so negative and always so entitled. You're like, come on, like, why can't you just be happy about Dalton, taking care of you and all this stuff? I liked Dalton. But her character was necessary, and so it's kind of a negative because I just, like, we would not get along at all. But her character was so necessary that it's also a good thing that Effie wrote her like she did. I wouldn't change it. Overall, Overall, Child of the Dragon Prophecy is really vast, really detailed, really rich, really emotional. You get wrapped up in it, and it just leaves you wanting to read more and more and more. Like I said, especially the second half. My favorite, I marked a couple places. I also got this bookmark from Effie. She made it. Chapter 20 in Nimith's home is my favorite chapter. And I don't know if I want to read the whole chapter, but here's the part where I want to read. On page 177. So Nimith is talking. Too often, Stephania, love is never given a chance to live. And too often, love ends with the spilling of blood, the desolation of lives. It would seem, more often, that love in our world is followed by the fires of destruction, rather than cleansing water. This love was like that. And when she stood in the ashes of the city that mocked her and her lover, and when she stood on the bones of those who hated and tortured her and her beloved, the fawn realized that her lover was still gone, and that not even the power of revenge could bring him back. She realized that her wrath had only caused more to suffer, and to feel the same hurt she herself had been dealt. After that, she was broken. Nimith's hands turned to fists in her lap. She bowed her head, her shoulders slumped. Never, Stephania, little love, let hate consume you. Even if you think the hate is righteous for the ones you love, you will turn into the monster that so deeply tortured you in the first place. Stephania nodded. The air was too heavy to speak. The emotion was too heavy to think. And so that's my favorite chapter, and that's just a part of it, and that's just an example of how emotional her writing is. It just gets you wrapped up in it, and you just got to go buy this book and read it. It's really good. I marked some other places. And I probably can't find the quotes I wanted to read right now because I remember they were just little tiny quotes. Oh, kind of the theme of home on page 109. Stephania is still a little girl and she's with Artegal. And she's talking to Artegal. You're always alone. You're always so distant, as if you are a star, shining brightly and sadly with no other stars around you. The stars told me families are like constellations. No star is ever alone. But you are alone, Artegal. Always. And the stars say it isn't right. The tears that had brimmed in her eyes spilled over, and she sniffed loudly. So that's just another example of the home and the theme and the stars also, and just how it's such beautiful writing. So go buy Child of the Dragon Prophecy. You can order the goodies off of, I keep wanting to call Effie Stephania. That's not her name. If I say that, the author is Effie Joe Stock, the main character is Stephania. But you can order like art prints, and there's one of Trojan now too. And I also got maps, big maps that Effie made herself. Ventrinovia, and you can like follow along in the book. It's always fun to see where the characters are, and this is Transfalls where the centaurs live, so that's really fun. Go to her website effiejoestock.com and look through this stuff. She has goat's milk soap, you guys. It is so good. I already used it all, or I'd show it to you. The Eda blood soap is the best stuff ever. It's so good. I'm starting to like flavor everything I eat with that seasoning or spices or whatever she put in it. And she makes coasters. May the sun smile upon your presence as the stars sing upon yours. And that's an important centaur saying in the book. So I'm going to put a little bit more information up about how to find Child of the Dragon Prophecy and more about Effie. So that is my book review of Child of the Dragon Prophecy by Effie Joe Stock. If you read a book, please review a book, whether it be Child of the Dragon Prophecy or Anathalion by me, HAPruitt. Please review books and just take a chance on independent authors. I know some people kind of have a stigma toward them, but some independent authors are really good, like this one, and I hope Anathalion. So please read independent authors, support independent authors, and review books. Thank you very much for watching. Bye! If you want to know more about Anathalion or HAPruitt, please follow me on Instagram at HAPruitt. You can find me on Amazon as an Amazon author, HAPruitt. Please watch my YouTube channel and all my cool videos on my channel, HAPruitt Anathalion. You can find me on the Facebook page, HAPruitt Anathalion. You can follow me on Goodreads by the name HAPruitt and the book Anathalion, or you can go to my website where so much cool stuff about Anathalion is. The website is HAPruitt.com.